Today we're going to look at the best things that you can possibly build with the item placer, give you a few tips and tricks along the line, and give you a little bit of inspiration what this thing is capable of. With that being said, let's jump right into it. I think it's only fair if we start with the most obvious thing that a lot of people already knew about. We have the gun showcase, and in our case you can actually see that we cannot grab these guns over here. We can open this gate and now we can start grabbing them. For example, there's a K. We can close this gate again and we cannot grab them again. Okay, so I'm going to quickly explain to you guys how this works. I also built this on stream, so if you want to have a full run on how I made this, if you want to, the link is somewhere down below or on the screen right now. However, this entire thing is actually pretty simple if you know how to do it. So the first and most important thing is, how do you get these guns looking like this, standing still, and you obviously need the item placer for that. I think that is pretty clear. Being over here, and all you have to do is just basically put in whatever weapon you want, and you need to just flip it in there, and then you have it in the thing. So if you're also wondering why the rarity effect doesn't show, there's actually a setting in here which you have to turn off. It is not working for every single item in Fortnite Creative right now, and a few rarities basically are bugged right now, but maybe that is fixed in the future. So once that is said and done, all you have to do is basically place them in a custom build that you created. So this one is just a fully custom made one. This is not a prefab or something, just made out of random props. Pretty easy to do. You can be as creative as you want here. And then the next thing is creating a gate that opens up. So for this one, we obviously use the switch. So if you press two buttons, then basically you just open and close them. Pretty simple stuff here. So we're going to have a channel on closing it, so turning it off, and opening up and turning it on. And obviously this button then links to the prop mover which we place on this gate. And if we quickly start the game, we can actually see how this works. So as you can see, this gate starts closing on the game start, and then we can just press the button and it opens and closes up. Pretty simple stuff, nothing too complicated. However, ironically enough, these two channels that we need to actually move this are currently bugged, and you can actually not see them. I'll still show you them on the screen. I made this obviously in the stream as well, so you can check that out if you want that as well. However, the channels that you need are advanced when receiving from and reverse when receiving from. You do not want to use start when receiving from, interrupt, enable, stop, whatever. You don't want to use these. These two channels will make sure that it always moves in the same directions, and you can easily trigger it with a single channel. But right now, as you can see, these channels do not exist because they're bugged, and obviously the prop mover in a hole is a little bit bugged right now. And the last and final thing that you have to do, if you want to make sure that you can actually not grab these guns if the gate is in front of this, that you add a barrier device. And for the barrier device, it's basically the same thing. You enable it when it closes. So when the gate closes up, you want the barrier to also be up, so you cannot pick up these guns. And obviously, if you open the gate, you want the barrier to be disabled. Pretty simple stuff, but however, not everybody is in Fortnite Creative forever and might not know that these devices exist in the first place. So if you want to create a really realistic gun showcase room, this is the perfect way on how you can do it. However, the item placer is not only good for giving guns and taking guns or having gun displays, it's also great for creating background stuff and just in general creating very cool things which just look amazing, because you can now use basically a lot of the items which were previously unusable for props. And as an example, you can, for example, use the floppers now as actual props in your game. Before that was not really possible. The only thing that you could make close to it was using the fishing device, which is obviously still a good option. However, if you want to create really custom fishes and just want to use like maybe the shadow flopper, you cannot get that in the fishing device. However, here you can do it. You can basically just put any fish that you ever want. So you basically go to consumables and then you pick out whatever fish you want. So for example, we're gonna take the cuttlefish now, and we're gonna put it in here, and bang, now we have a cuttlefish prop, and we can also place it in the background and have it look nice. Obviously it's a little bit bugged right now because of the rarity effect still showing, which, as already said, the device is a little bit bugged, which appears to be a very common thing in Fortnite Creative. However, you can also spice them up quite a bit by, for example, adding a few bubbles. For that, you can, for example, use the new VFX creator and create your own VFX with that. For example, I created these bubbles, and it looks really nice. It's something that we didn't really have before. And you can really spice up your maps with this one. It's just a cool little side effect that you can now add. Sadly, you cannot move them with the prop mover, which would be a huge thing. You could actually have swimming fishes. However, right now it's not possible, but in the future, maybe. Or for example, you could combine the item placer with the mannequin device, which, as you can see, can create some really cool scenarios, where the mannequin is shooting Jonesy and then Ramirez is gonna rescue him. What you can also do, which I saw a lot of people already do, is using these as actual interactive props. So for example, you can actually pick these props up and then use them as actual stones. which before that was not possible at all. Yeah, you could create something where you destroy them, but you cannot pick them up and actually gain something from that, which were not possible at all and can really spice up your maps. And since you guys really like the custom gun that I created, I have a few more for you. So I want to show you guys the double pump turret. Yeah, I know it's that one is a little bit broken, I think. But maybe what do you think about the quad flintlock launcher? Or what do you think? Or what do you think about the Infinity Blade assault rifle? Take the most popular gun and the most hated gun and just put them together. Well, I also gave it a scope. I don't know how this one should work, but it looks cool. And the last one would be fake traps. However, as so many things in Fortnite Creative, these are a little bit bugged. So you can see that I first of all can walk through the thing like there's nothing in here. So there should be a hitbox somewhere. And if we quickly look around, we run into nothingness here. And we can actually jump on nothingness, which is actually the hitbox of this thing. So you can see if we click here on customize item and then I reset or clear the item, this one actually gets removed and this one is, yeah. However, not every trap is completely bugged. The spike trap, for example, actually works kind of well. And as you can see, there's a hitbox now here and you kind of have to jump on it. So maybe like for a scary effect or just like to troll people, I think this could be a really cool idea. Also, a really cool thing to notice is that if the consumables or whatever you put in the item placer actually has animations, these animations will also work in the item placer. So you can see here with the fireflies, they do work and there's a little bit of animation here. And that wraps it up for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully you learned something today. And I'm obviously now streaming on Twitch, so would be appreciated if you leave a follow there. And I will see you guys back in the next one, and bye.